Don't expect for somebody to just pick up the phone or come to you or you come to me and say, pray for me, and I'm going to say yes. No, I have to seek him first. Makariboko Simde. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you put your hand into. I don't know if you made a golden calf or an altar. I don't know if you're mocking God. Makariboko Simde de Beke Simde. No, Mamakaribeke Simde. No. Mighty God of Daniel. When you get in trouble and you are a lawyer, you have to sit down there. Mighty God of Daniel. And she have to hear. She have to sit down and write out. They have to sit down and write out where you were. They have to question you. What you did. Mighty God of Daniel. Where you were on such and such time. Mighty God. Some of them when they hear their case and know say you're guilty. They say I can't take the case. I can't take the case. There's no way I can win the case. Mighty God of Daniel. So sometimes when you come to the people of God, and people of God say, and God look at them, the man and the great woman of God, and say, don't pray for that one. That one they're not ready to stop dirty her hand. Leave that one where she is. Mighty God of Daniel. And then you're gone create more sin for you. Oh, the woman of God never want to pray for me. The man of God never want to pray for me. I mean, I know. But then guess what? God tell them what you're doing in secret. And say, leave you to your reprobate mind, because you're not ready for change. You're not ready for water baptism. Leave you, just like Pharaoh, the heart hardened. Mighty God of Daniel. Leave you, because you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. Mighty God of Daniel. You're not ready. Mighty God of Daniel. Leave you. You have a fearless spirit. Yes, you're begging for help, but you have a fearless spirit. You're not ready to change. Yes, every time you come, you want prayer, and then every time you don't pray and then get clean up, you go back to wall again and come back again. No, you have a fearless spirit. Look into the mirror. Mighty God of Daniel. You have a fearless spirit. So Father said, leave you alone. Mighty God of Daniel. Leave you alone. So don't get upset when a man or woman of God tell you. Yes. I'll come back and pray for you. Yes. Don't play with a woman and man of God. That are authentic. When I talk about leaders we look like, and I look how much numbers they have. I'm not talking about them kind of leaders where you can push a little money in the man and then come pray and tell you what you want to hear. I'm talking about real, authentic people of God. We don't move unless God tell them to move. Mighty God, there's still so few. There's still many. Elijah thought he was the last one. But Father said there are many out there that are untouched. There are many out there that are untouched. That's not running down fame. That's not looking at numbers and followers and offering. Many out there that is authentic. That is not bowing down to no calf. Not bowing down to the mighty dollar. Not going to tell you what you want to hear. And tomorrow, when you're ending up in hell, mighty God of Daniel, you're there saying, but the woman of God. There are many out there that is not ready. They're not going to sacrifice because when they're telling you, mighty God of Daniel, that, oh, the Lord said to do this and the Lord didn't say to do that, they're condemning themselves to hell too. They're condemning themselves to hell. Mighty God of Daniel. There are many out there still live. Father is not short of a man. He's not short of a man. If you don't do it, somebody else will. There are many out there that is untouched, that he seals them to do his will, not their will, his will. There are many out there that has a heart like him. that want to serve him authentically, that want to worship him, that loves who he loves and hates who he hates, and hate things that he hates. There are many out there, many. Mighty God of Daniel. Mighty God of Daniel. Mighty. But listen to this now. Moses tried to talk. He tried to talk to God. He said, "Oh Lord, why are you so angry with your own people who you brought from the land of Egypt with such great power and such a strong hand? Why let the Egyptians say their God rescue them with the evil intention of slaughter them into the mountain, wiping them from the face of the earth? Turn away from your fierce anger. Change your mind about this terrible disaster you have threatened against your people. Remember your servant Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You bound yourself with an oath to them, saying, I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars of heaven, and I will give them all of the land that I have promised to the descendants, and they will possess it forever. So, 14, so the Lord changed his mind about the terrible disaster he had threatened to bring on his people. We're going back to the church again. We're going back to the church again. Like I was saying, Moses is the head pastor. And he went to hear from God, to get the law and how to rule the church. And he left the assistant pastor involved. Now we all know the people sinned. And God is telling him to go back to the camp. But God is so angry, he's ready to destroy everyone. Mighty God. But the leader for the church that is in God's presence, the leader that is in God's presence, plead to God. And I want you to put yourself, as I'm putting myself into this situation. You have a leader, you're in a kingdom body, and your leader went to plead on your behalf. And God is so upset that you have sinned. But mighty God of Daniel, that pastor plead on your behalf. Plead. You were supposed to be destroyed. But that pastor intercede on your behalf. Because while you were in the valley of waiting for your shepherd to come back to you, you sin because you couldn't wait. You go check a man, you hear about a man, you go look, you go see a woman, you go get your palm read. Because you couldn't wait. But the intercessor where you have, the pastor, where you ask to pray for you, stand in the gap and beg mercy to your God. And your God answer. Not because of you, you know. Because God is ready to done you. But because the intercessor plead and remind him of what he had promised Abraham and Isaac before. And he's a God of mercy. He changed his heart because of who he is. A God of mercy. A God of mercy. You see, I don't want to keep you guys. It's already 10 something. 1:10. I want you to realize tonight, like I say, what has done in the beginning is so it shall be in the end. things are start happening just like that. And people of God, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We really have to be careful. We really have to be careful and listen and have a closer relationship with God. Do you know how a shepherd feels when she pray you out of a situation and you end up into that same situation again? Can you imagine how Moses felt? Look how far he's carrying those people from. And he prayed and he begged God. Mighty God of Daniel. Sometimes we need to look into our life and see how far we're coming from. Many of us are in church how long? And we know a pastor, we go to them daily. Sometimes the poor pastor don't even have time to pray for themselves or their family. They always have a situation. Because you have some people that they believe only God will answer the leader's prayer. They don't know that they can pray for themselves. And you go and the pastor take her time. Some of them even went and fasting and praying. And you go back into that sin. Shouldn't we supposed to be going forward instead of backward? Because those people keep going forward and backward and forward. That's why they circle that thing so long, you know. They just keep going around Jericho wall, going around Jericho wall. We have to think now. We have to stop. We can't be making the same mistake that our ancestors make. I mean, we don't learn. We don't read. At some point in our life, we have to take heed and say, listen, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. At some time in our life, we have to really say, am I serious about this religious? I'm not going to call it religious because I'm going to call it the real servant walk that we're doing. At some point in our life, we have to take things literally serious and know that you're in the world, but you're not of the world. Certain places you cannot go. Certain things you don't speak. Certain friends you don't keep. And be comfortable with it. Yes, you can't serve two masters. At certain time, you have to stand flat-footed and say, you know what? Let me use myself again because you guys are all same and sanctified and don't make mistake. At some point in my life, I have to take a step back and say, I guess I'm not that dancehall girl that I thought I was. I love to dress up and I love to look pretty. This is how he wants me. This is how I keep dreaming myself. And when I start doing it, I'm like, this is how I feel comfortable. At some point in your life, I had to realize that the friends that are around me, I would be in a room of friends and still feel alone. At some point in my life, I had to step back and say, if you are truly my friend, you should understand that I do not drink. You should understand why I'm not going to the party. If you're truly my friend, you should understand why I'm not coming out to you.